All right, so for this particular problem, I've been assigned number 2. So suppose that you work for a company, Smooth as the King, that sells Velvet Elvis paintings. The function N of P. So you're given the following function, and that predicts the number of N paintings that your company will sell if they are priced at P dollars each. The Presley estate does not allow you to charge, I took it as less than $50 per, I'm sorry, more than $50 per painting. So part A is asking, estimate the price you should charge per painting if your quota is 6,000 paintings. So I've rewritten the given equation above, and remember that N of P, N is representing the number of paintings. So in this particular scenario, they're wanting you to see what the quota would be for 6,000 paintings. So that means that this right here is going to be my N. So I can just solve this by replacing my N of P, 6,000, and then doing some basic algebra. And I ended up putting this one into the calculator and graphing it to see what the zeros were for this problem. So I subtracted the 6,000 on both sides, obviously combining like terms. And I got this. And then I plugged that into the calculator and found my zeros. So my two possibilities for P that it gave me was 18.68 and 60.12. But remember from the original question, it said that it needs to be less than $50 per painting. So it can't be this one here because that one excludes or exceeds the $50. So my P has to be 18.68. So in order for me to meet the 6,000 quota, I would need to charge about $18.68 per painting. And that's your answer for part A. This question is basically asking you a similar type of question, but it wants you to find the range whenever you need to sell between 5,000 and 7,000 paintings. So you're going to approach this problem the same way. Again, 5,000 and 7,000 are the amount of paintings. So I'm going to go ahead and replace my N of P with 5,000. And then I'll solve this equation similarly how I did the last one. So with this one, I end up getting, again, two answers, which would be 2150 and 5731. But again, remember, we have that restriction on us that it has to be less than $50. So this cannot be the answer. Likewise, or similarly, I would also do this problem with saying that it's equal to 7,000, and referring to this piece of the question up here, where it's asking for the range, or what's the range basically between 5,000 and 7,000. So now I'm going to figure that one out similarly. And this particular problem would also give me two answers of 16.21 and 62.60. And again, going through and rereading the problem that was originally given to me, it cannot be 62.60 because the painting has to be less than $50 per painting. So to sell between 5,000 and 7,000 paintings, you would need to charge between $16.21 to $21.50 per painting. And that would be the range of the prices that would enable you to sell between 5,000 and 7,000 paintings. For this last question, I'm not going to go ahead and actually write out everything, but this one is asking you to interpret this problem in terms of a limit. Specifically, what are the values of A, L, epsilon, and the corresponding value of your delta? So this problem varies a little from your regular limit because they are asking about specific values. So to calculate these answers above, there was no definition of a limit that I used for either A or B. I just did basic algebra or a little bit of algebra 2, I guess, to be able to find those values. To make this into a limit problem, however, I would need to allow my A to equal 50 because you want to see as it's approaching 50. So that would be my limit as X approaches 50. And since that is the maximum price of the paintings, L would be 3.083. And epsilon would have to be between the 5,000 to 7,000 that we got. And this is me basically looking at part B. So then there would exist a delta interval. So my delta would be between X equaling 16.25 to 21.5. And when I figure that out, like I did in the last one, delta ended up being 5.2. And that's it for problem 2.